So let's start. We were on the topic of selection methods. It's an evening class. There is a selection methods. First is selection by clicking, or I say it's a kind of a pre-highlight. So how we do select? Now you can see here, I go to the application menu and I'm going to open this sample file, one of the sample file that Autodesk produces us and give it to us. So open it up. Now see, before anything, before clicking, before doing anything, if I am just hovering my mouse button over any element of Revit, it is pre-highlighting. Okay, it is plus the status bar is showing me if I am going to select or click, this is going to be get selected. That is called pre-highlighting. So first kind of selection is by pre-highlight and then select. So if I select here, you can see this is pre-highlighting. This will be get selected. Or if I just go small little bit up, then this is pre-highlighting. And I'm going to select this is going to get selected. And the moment is going to get selected, you see the edit properties and the instance property of that area, of that thing. Same way, this is the first way of selecting. Okay. Second part. Boxes. There are two types of box selection. That is, first is right to left, okay, and left to right. The only difference that you will find in Revit and AutoCAD is, in AutoCAD we click one time and then drag. In Revit we gotta have to click and continuously, by remaining clicking, by remain in the mode of clicking, we gotta have to drag our mouse pointer. Okay, but the principle follows the same. If I go to right to left, the only thing which is going to be completely inside of that box will be selected. But if I am going to go left to right, anything which is intersecting the box will be get selected. Okay, so that is one, right to left clicking and left to right clicking. That's a box selection. Third type of selection. Third type of selection is a master selection. That's called tab selection. Or first we'll cover other thing, then we'll go to the tab selection. So we'll go to the filter selection. So two types of selections I have told you. Third type of selection is filter selection. What will happen if I select this entire area? Okay, if you see contextual tab, the contextual tab is there. If I select filter and I select that these many things are selected, so I'll say check none. I don't want to select only these parts. I just want to select all these 6 walls that are there entirely in a model, and I'll press OK. So only 6 walls would be selected and everything else would be unselected. So this is a one way of you selecting the elements. First you click it. Now everything is selected. Now in the contextual tab there is a filter option. Even in the status bar you can see this, the number of selecting elements is there. So if you double click here, then filter selections will come up. Then you say select none. I just want to select a shaft opening or the floors, that I just want to select the floors. I don't want to select anything else. So this is called a filter selection. See what I did? It was unchecked. Like I have done it. Now that I have clicked it, right? Now by mistake my selection got unchecked. So I'll press Control plus left arrow in order to select the previous selection. That's one of the selection methods. Control plus left arrow. Okay. Now if you see here, this columns, supposedly if I ask you that I just want to have these particular columns to be selected in the entire model, one way is by selecting every entire element and then using the this filter selection. Another way of selection is to right click it and select all instances visible in view. Right now the view is 3D, but if I'm doing this thing in a 2D with like floor plan or a ceiling plan, so the all the columns which are sitting onto the top of it on the first floor plan will be selected. How? Let me demonstrate you. I press WT. Now supposedly I open the second floor plan and I press WT. In here, if you see, I select one of the columns, which is obviously being selected here as well, somewhere here. Okay. Now if I select all instances visible in view, you can see what happens. You see what happens? All are not selected. Same instance plus all not are selected, only this view selected. If you just see over here, supposedly there is this beam, structural beam. I select and I say I select all instances visible in view. You see what happens? In a 3D view, only those beams which are situated to that level are selected, are getting selected. See? But if I say, if by remaining in this view only, I say right click, select all instances in entire project. See what will happen? Okay, that is called a right click selection method. Right click selection method. Okay, now next, tab key. Tab key is a master key. If you go to this Revit, supposedly this is the area where I need to select the wall here, but I am selecting here, I am hovering my mouse here, and how to make me go to that wall? I'll press tab. Tab helps us to one by one circulates between the elements. So if I tab one more time, now you see pre-highlighting. Now if I select this, the wall is selected. This is a way of me letting know how to do that stuff, how to click that stuff. Now if some things happen like this, and I don't want to select the this column, I want to select the wall by remaining my mouse pointer over there only. So the pre-highlighting will get circulated, and once you need what you want by highlighting by a pre-highlight, then you select it. If I press tab 1, 2, 3, see circulation is happening. Moreover, if I am selecting here like this one, tab, okay, this is getting selected. I'll press the left click. Now these four are selected. Now I want to select these as well. You have to do it what? Again tab, okay, see, tab, and press control, and then again select. So control is for adding elements to the selection. Shift is negating elements from selection. So if I do not want this beam to be there, so I'll press shift and then left click. That area will not be there. If I again shift and click, this area would not be there. So control is for addition and shift is for negation, subtraction. So in a way, if I say you that like if I have created a wall which is like somewhat this area, and this side. Okay, now I want to select this. Now it is pre-highlighting only one wall. If I tab, you see the entire loop got selected, and I'll click it. And then again, I want this part also be to the part of the selection method, selection group. I'll again press tab, and I'll press kya? What should I press? Then I click it. Now this becomes a part of it. Now again it remains the same thing. If I want to add this thing into it, I'll press control. Okay, so control and subtraction is another way of doing things, and tab is a way of circulating inside it. So I told you about how to first see. This is a pre-highlight method. So you tab it, and then you know how much you have to select. Like you would get a very good example while I'm going to open this one of the more simple files that has an architectural advanced model built into it. That is this project called Simple Project by Autodesk. Now, if we go to this entry level, over here, you can see this is a wall. Okay. Now, I press tab. You see what happens? The entire loop selected. I'll click. Then I'll go to this part and I'll say tab, 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 tab. So I'm circulating through the elements. Then I'll click it. Tab is a master key. You need to understand and you need to remember it. Then tab. Plus again tab. So in this way, it will be selected. Now if you see, there is a floor here, but I am not able to select here. I'll press tab. Now see what is happening. Can you see the status bar? What it is showing? It's showing chain of walls or lines. It means it's still not. It's a floor. I'll press tab again. It is showing curtain wall mullions. So if I'm going to select now, curtain wall mullions would be selected. Again tab, tab. Now tell me what is going to be get selected. Can anyone tell me what is the category here? And what is the family? What is the type? Huh? Just see carefully. There is a small dash in between. Now you see there is a semicolon. This is a category. Semicolon and concrete. Now you see round column is a M concrete, round column is a family. Then semicolon 300 mm is a type. So you understood how we are going to use the tab key. Then we'll come to the another part, the pre-highlight, during dimensioning, and for chain selection. So say chain selection, I have told you this is called chain selection by doing tab and tab, all those stuff. What is dimensioning? Like as I've told you, there are two types of dimensions. First is temporary dimensions and second is linear dimensions, permanent dimensions. Linear dimensions. Now what happens is this, if I press DI, dimension is for DI. Okay. Now if I select this part, supposedly I come here, but I want to have a dimension from the end of from the face of a wall. So I press tab. See, I press tab, tab, tab. You can see this. I'll click it. I'll go here. I say I don't want to have any end. I want to have a dimensioning from the mid of the wall. I'll press tab. See, nice pre-highlighting. I'll click it again. Then I go again here. I'll say tab. Yes. Then tab. Then again tab. And then again tab. So that's how you're going to create the dimension parts. So tab is the one way of you circling, not just in highlighting or selection of elements. Whenever you're going to create a wall, where you need to put a wall, you need to put a tab, 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 tab. circulate through things. So tab is equals to master key in Revit. It's a master key in Revit. Okay. Selection toggles. So what are selection toggles? Can you please tell me, in the architecture tab there is some select panel, where it is? In architecture tab there is a select panel, where it is? Yes. In this select panel you can see the extended panel here. If you click here, these all are called selection toggles. First is select links. So if I have imported any link in my Revit file, if I have checked that you have to select links, then that link would be selected. If I have not checked this link, that link will not be selected. In a way, it would be freeze and attached to a document. How? Let me tell you. I'll go to this insert part and I'll say link Revit. I'll click link Revit and then I go to my computer, DD, program data, Autodesk, Revit 2016, families. One second, where this is written. Program files, program data, Autodesk, sample files, Revit 2016, sample files.
It's REVIT, not RVT.
REVIT. Where? Revit 2016. Program files. We're going in a different direction. Insert, link Revit, and see program files, Autodesk, Revit 2016, sample files. So over here, supposedly, I select and import this origin to origin. I'll tell you about the importation as well. So you see here, this is one of a link which I have imported into Revit, right? If I select here, and the thing is, the selection toggles there are 5 types of selection toggles which you can access from here, and you can access from status bar from here. You can see this are the selection toggles: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is also the select links and the same thing. So if I say I don't want to select links, over here you can see wrong cross appears on this first part. So what does that mean? It means now this import link, you can't make any changes to it. You can't even select this Revit link. This Revit link becomes a base. Okay, understand? In the same way, if I have, now you can see I can select this part, right? I can select this entire part. But what if I do, what do you mean by this? This means pin. PN, so that you can't change the locations of it. It becomes fixed. So the shortcut is for pin is PN, PM. Shortcut for pin is PN, and to unpin is UP. Okay. Now there is another toggle called select pinned elements. If I uncheck it, that I don't want to select pinned elements, you can see I can't do anything. I can't select this. It's the same one and the same thing. So if I do this part, like you can see this, if I select this and I'll pin it from here, modify tab, and I go back and I again select, you see I'm not able to select it because it is pinned. Okay. Now in the same manner, if I go to this third floor, now in this third floor there is nothing as such, and in this instance property of this floor there is a small button called underlay option. So underlay option is a way of me letting know that what I have created in level 1 plan or level 2 plan or level 3 plan. So if I say please underlay level 1 entry level plan, okay, and come out of it, apply it, now you see what happened. You will be able to see this roof which is created in level 1, right? But you can select this roof. So if I go to this selection toggle and I say do not select underlay elements, so I will not be able to select this underlay elements. But if I say I want to select underlay elements and I select it, come here, now you see what happens. I can select the small walls of the underlay element which are created on level 1. You see I can see the door also. I can select this column as well. But if I say that if I say do not select underlay elements, so you can see I can't go. I can't select the door. I can't select this. I can't select walls. Able to understand? Now if you see, apart from underlay pinned elements, there is elements by face and there is elements on selection. Drag elements on selections. These two will come after the intermediate stage of your Revit training. When you are able to understand the massing, then you will understand what is elements by face and what is elements on drag purposes. Okay. So I think this another thing is selection toggles हो गया है and safe selection now. What is safe selection? Safe selection is a way for us to select a group and then select it as a safe selection. Now what happens, like I have selected like this and I want to filter it out, that I don't want to have any curtain wall grids or something. I just want to have doors. I want to have floors, not floors. I want to have doors, and I want to have all the room tags. I want to have structural columns, and I want to have walls, and press OK. This is a filter selection that I did. Okay, then I say I am going to go to selection tab. Over here there is a save button. I'll click it and I'll say this is my left atrium selection, LA_1. Press OK. Huh? Group is has a different set of settings. It's just a selection method. Now what will happen is that if you are selecting this supposedly and you want to select this also, which you have selected in the previous part, so you can while you are selecting like this one part, you immediately have this option called load. The moment I say load selection and LA1 I say or OK, you see what happens. With that selection, this selection also happens. So there are always specific types of selection that I want to do.
What if only one amount that we want and that three we want? So can we do that? Or
so obviously you create a selection set according to it, or control, press use control button. The selection tabs, these 7-8 selection types that I have told you about, it can be used into one another. Like with this also, I can use a tab key and select. I can use control key. I can use box selection key. Okay, or I can use the subtraction key. So all these are the different types of selection. So I think we should end by doing this only, because I have an interview as well. And then on Monday we're going to continue this class. Thank you guys.